Morning, folks. I already sent you guys out the close watch for this morning and the game plan. For everyone else, all right, so my close watch here is going to be Tesla, right? Pull back long off of 423.10. Like I showed you guys, this was really our last key level of the fence. When Tesla was pulling back, buyer stepped up and pushed this thing pretty much all the way back to 250, 250. If we fall under Tesla, I'm pretty much hands off. I'm sorry, if we fall under 423, I'm pretty much hands off here. Even though we would still be bullish bias, I would just wait for a break of structure to see, okay, cool. Can we start looking for shorts? Or, if we just want to stay heavy and then reclaim this, then I would be looking for that. The reason for that being is this is a very big RR. There's nothing in Tesla's way if this thing sets up. So looking for a pullback long off of 423.10. A lot of these names gap down with the overall market. I broke that down in depth in the close watch coming into today's open. And then AMD. AMD is showing a little bit of relative strength here compared to everything else. So I will be looking for a pullback long off of 225. We ended up gapping above this. This was a big range breakout, but we need to retest this to see if this is a real hold. If not, it was just a squeeze to the upside. So obviously, if we fall under 225, I'm hands off here on AMD. And then Apple's also going to be my close watch list on my close watch. If we can get a break and retest over 253, love it. If we stay heavy, I'm pretty much hands off here on Apple until it breaks structure, and then we will be bearish bias on this name as well. And then Nvidia is some ways away. Right now, sitting in the middle of no man's land. So really, my main three coming into today is just going to be Tesla pullback long 423, AMD pullback long 225, and then Apple break and retest over 253. If we stay under 253, obviously I'm hands off here on Apple. We got about 30 seconds here until market opens. Seeing a nice pop on a lot of these. See if Apple can give us a setup here. About 20 seconds. So starting to see a lot of buyers step in here during pre-market. Big pop on a lot of these names. We're still bullish bias on a lot of these names. So dang, very strong open on SPY. Straight to the upside. Okay. So remember, a lot of these names, we ended up gapping down. We're still bullish bias on a lot of these names, and they have an objective to the upside, which is a gap fill. So we can see Apple strong. See, this is the stuff that irritates me. See how my alert didn't go off? Can't tell you how many times this has happened. Broke my key level alert didn't go off. Very annoying. Very strong open on AMD. Dang, very strong open on AMD. Now my alert goes off. So just a big pop here on SPY and Qs, mainly SPY. That's pretty much been the story. That SPY has just had so much relative strength compared to Qs. Remember, guys, we don't trade that first 2 minute candle. Market just open. We're going to be patient here. Big break here, though, on AMD and Apple. QQQ rejecting 613.20. Let's see if we can get a deep enough pullback here on Tesla and see if we can hold this 423. If so, I would be looking at the 427, 425 calls, which is one strike out of the money. IV's not elevated, so that's good. Things are expensive, I know. Yeah, the 425 calls on Tesla. I want to see if we can get a deep enough pullback. Yeah, 425. Okay, so right now SPY is trying to defend 681.45. So let's see if we can do that. Clearly, there's relative strength on AMD here and Apple. Nothing on the yeah, AMD. Yeah, it's funny because during pre-market, I said that I like the relative strength here on AMD. So very strong open. Really just looking for this on on Tesla. If it doesn't give us any clean price action, probably just end up skipping it. Very nice defend here on SPY. Key level really doing its job here. Look at that. That wick on the dot right off our key level. Very nice. So on the bright side, a lot of these names, they end up gapping. AMD filled that gap very fast. As of right now, SPY in the Qs is filling this gap, so I'm not really surprised that we're seeing a very strong open here, just because, like I said, we're still very bullish bias on this overall market. If QQQ can get over 613.20, I feel like a lot of these names can start to take off, right? 613.20, see a little bit of a rejection there. If we can get over that, I think these names could have a little bit more fuel behind them. Tesla looks good. We just didn't get a deep enough pullback here. Still not out of the picture. Just got to be patient. We're going to keep an eye out on Apple too. Yeah, this big pop you're seeing is Tesla trying to break. I'm sorry, Q's trying to break over 613.20. We're looking at the 225 calls here on Apple. 225 calls on Apple. See if we can get a deep enough pullback. I don't like it if Q's can't get over 613.20. See this rejection? We need Q's to get over that. Looking at the Apple calls here. No hold at all. Well, let's see. Still gotta wait and see. 255 calls on Apple, but if we don't see anything, then obviously hands off. Nope. And be patient here. Wish to the damaged body tells the story, so we'll end up seeing what happens. But like I just said, I gotta see SPY. I'm sorry, Q's get over 613. Look at that. Rejection on the dot. Look at that. And that's a weekly level as well. I still have my Tesla 425 calls. Trying to read this because I don't like that Q's is rejecting the 613.20. So I want to see maybe if I can get this candle close on Q's. I'm sorry, on Tesla. Just gotta be patient here. Just, I'm honestly looking at both of these right now. So mainly Tesla. Just gonna be patient. Obviously, Apple never showed any buyer step up there, so that's out of the picture. If that sets up again, we have to wait for another break and retest. Tesla's in sync with Qs. There is no divergence here. So that's what we're seeing right now in Qs. We got to get Qs over 613.20. All right, still like Apple, but since we never held, I need another break and retest to set up again on this name. Just gotta hold our water here. Qs has to get over that. 613.20 QQQ. Relative strength here on on SPY. Really just want to see this. Right, the only thing is, while I'm pretty much sitting, It's because of this on Q's. It's that this rejection. We've got to get over that. You're seeing that um, here on Tesla and Apple. That's probably starting to pull back as well. Yeah, Apple and QQQ is in sync. That's the Qs right now. Just a great correlation of it being the high day and a key level on the weekly. If I can get a deep enough pullback and see a little bit of buyer step in here on Tesla, I like it. Like I said, I just don't see enough relative strength here on Tesla. That's the only thing. Definitely, trying to defend, but I just don't see enough relative strength here. Apple pretty much out of the picture. I actually want AMD to come back to 225. Okay, Qs look like it's about to break through low a day here. We'll see. It kind of reminds me of a Friday session. Some plays did set up, but since the market was pulling out way too heavy, we just had to pretty much sit on our hands. Still watching Apple, right? If Apple can give us a nice break and retest over 253.05, I do like it. Hopefully we kind of got like a low day bounce here on Qs. Buyers can step up and push over 613.20. You can see that's pretty much what's causing us to stall a little bit on some of these names. Technically, this was a retest, but that was just too aggressive, and I did not like the context of the market. So be patient here. SPY starting to chop around a little bit. Yeah, this was nice on Qs, right? But I had to skip this trade. We'll see if this sets, I'm sorry, on Tesla. If this can set up again, like hopefully this is a lower day bounce here on Qs, right? Kind of a lower day bounce, and then this thing can kind of reclaim that. Super solid here on Tesla. 423 did its job, but I'm not taking that when it's in sync with the market. So, yeah, no AMD. Okay, so SPY is trying to break through the high day right now. It's done a really good job defending this 281.45. Sucks that Tesla was in sync with the market on this pullback. Yeah, hopefully that was a low day bounce. And then, right, this thing can give us some momentum and get over that. We're seeing a big pop here on SPY. SPY defended it's 681.45. Nice. Can't sleep on AMD. AMD is still in the picture. This is like a big retest on this name that we need. Can't forget, we ended up gapping above this. So if anything, we really just filled the gap, which is solid, right? We filled the gap. Let's see if we can get this retest off of 225. I'm gonna clean this price action on SPY and Qs. SPY doesn't look too cute right now. It's kind of what we're working with. It's defending 681.45, but not the best price action. Qs as well. It's still too early to say. We do have orange photo news at 7 a.m. So let's see if that can give us a little bit of a momentum pop. Still looking at Apple here. Obviously, we know we just need more displacement on that if that sets up. I don't see this hold here. Yeah. I mean, we're getting the perfect reactions we want on Apple. So this key level is doing its job. But if we're under that, we're just hands off. Let's see if see what happens here on Tesla. Even AMD straight up equals straight down. So really want this retest on AMD. Okay, so Apple's gone. So let's see what's happening. What we're having here is like we got to get Qs to get over 61320. So it's having a hard time getting over that. And then we have SPY doing very well defending 681.45. But as you can see, both on SPY and the Qs, the price action is trash. 425. No, not want that. I think this should pull back to. I'm still looking at QQQ. I'm sorry, Tesla guys. I mean, so far it's done pretty well defending this. This is a weekly level. Pulled back to 423.40 and pushed up to 427.80. It's a pretty big move. So what I'm trying to do is, wait really for this pullback here, and I'm trying to correlate this with Qs and see if Qs can get over this hump, over this 61320. And it's definitely trying. I'm seeing a little bull flag set up here. Kind of just need a deeper pullback. Just gotta hold our water. AMD's had a very strong open the last about 3 days in a row. See this pop we're seeing? That's what we're seeing here on the market. It's a very strong level here. We see the damage. 613 is a very strong level. Really Q's and Apple. I'm sorry, Tesla and Apple. If Tesla can give us that, I like it. And then if Apple wants to set up again, obviously getting some displacement before the retest, I like it as well. And then AMD is just strong. About this again, yeah. I hope it does. AMD is really strong. This thing pulled back to 227. Now it's already at 231. Almost back near the high day, actually. So we'll see what sets up with AMD. Q's are trying to defend this, so hopefully it can. Spies breaking through the high day. We'll see what's setting up with AMD because this is kind of reminded me of what was it last Thursday? Um, Ended up taking this shot. And if we do get a break and retest over 234, we're definitely extended. That's the one thing I'm being mindful of. Now price is definitely overextended here on AMD. So that's one thing. Like, okay, if this sets up, obviously we get enough displacement, and we have a swing high to target. I wouldn't mind taking it, probably scaling down, but we are definitely overextended if we once or if we break over 234.65. Apple's out of the picture. Let's see what's going on. Nothing. If you guys watched the pre-market game plan coming into today, I showed you that a lot of these names on the weekly time frame are stuck in channels. So if things have been feeling slow, that's pretty much why. A lot of these names have been stuck in channels. NVIDIA is really a great example, actually. Uh, Great, John. So just so I can show you what I mean by that. Like this is NVIDIA. This is what I mean when I say the market comes in seasons. NVIDIA was doing this forever. These are weekly candles. And now what are we doing? Right? Consolidation, next leg higher. So if things do seem slow, well, that's why, right? A lot of these names are still stuck in a channel on the weekly time frame. Look at that. So one of the main names that just got out of a channel is AMD, and that's the one where we need to pull back and retest, this 225 on AMD. Tesla right now on a weekly time frame, stuck in a channel. So it's got to be patient here. And even when you look at Tesla right now, it's definitely holding this, but not that much going on this name, right? Statistically speaking, if price stays in between the first 5 minute candle, we kind of just sit sideways. So I would love it to pull back and retest 423, and I see a strong surge of buyers step in. So we'll see. QQQ is pretty much having a tough time. You can see it's still rejecting. So that tells me I did my job, right? We found a key level that's being highly respected. And you can see it's having a tough time getting over that. Look at that. So clearly, there's relative strength on AMD. Q's is sitting in a tight range. It's rejecting 613. Apple's pulling back. Tesla's sitting sideways. And then look at AMD, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna keep that at 225. Okay, so as of right now, AMD has moved from 225 to the high day, like $8 and 30 cents. So obviously, if we get over here over 234, definitely extend it. I'm impatient on Apple because as soon as this thing breaks structure, we're bearish bias on this name. And I'm 100% open to finally being able to short this name just because it's been on a crazy down run. Now, of course, I'm not going to short a name that's still bullish bias on the higher time frame. But once this thing breaks structure and it wants to continue to pull back, it's perfectly fine. It already made its all-time high. So since it's made its all-time highs, it's just been pulling back since then. A couple of moments where it looked like, okay, buyers are going to step up here and defend, but yeah, got about 2 minutes here until orange folder. We'll see what happens. As you can see on the overall market itself, just not the best price action, right? Look at that. Not the best price action. Just crappy. And these the only one that looks clean. I feel like if Qs can get over this and hold, maybe we can see a strong hold on Apple as well. Mhm. Oh wow, they definitely removed that. Okay, we did have Orange Folder News at 7, but that's no longer on our calendar. They definitely removed that. Yeah, see Apple rejecting that 253. Right, Q's rejecting the 613. I'm a little cautious here on Tesla, right? The deeper the pullback, the better. So we'll see, right? If this thing can pull back, not see a strong surge, but with Q's rejecting the 613.20, and then you can see it's really not like it's kind of just what Tesla's doing, right? So just like Friday, today may be another day of like difference between like skipping a trade and missing a trade. Just have to see because it's if Qs keep rejecting this 613.20, and that's a weekly level, right? That's a big deal. It's a very big deal. You can see how strong this level is. It's a big deal. So honestly, right, this is what Tesla's doing. But the way I see it is like, okay, if this can set up in a strong surge, then it's just like a built up momentum play. Sure. Yeah, SPY is like back near the lower day too. 425. It would still be the 425 cost. It was just one strike out of the money. I'm just trying to read this. SPY is sitting near the lower day. Big drop here. Hmm. Just like reading Tesla, a little bit of a pullback, and then I want to see what we can do. Only because of this, right? SPY is breaking through the lower day as well. Like I said, the 425 calls for on Tesla. I have my contracts ready. I'm just trying to read this, get a little bit of a deeper pullback. SPY is breaking through the lower day. So what I'm looking for here is just like a very strong surge in buyers. Apple's gone. Yeah, Q's is spilling off here. You can see a strong surge here. I like it. Mm, oh, looking for this little bit of a base. Watching AMD too, but my eyes are glued to Tesla right now. So weekly level, you can see we're trying to defend this very well. I'm looking at Tesla, guys. I want this to pull back more. It is basing, and that's what I want. But the deeper the pullback, the better, the tighter our risk. So if it doesn't set up, so be it. I'm long Tesla, guys. Very tight stop. I'm long Tesla. Stop loss is candle close under 423.10. Let's see. It's a weekly level. It's basing, it's defending. All right, we're getting a nice pop here. Okay, nice. Let's see if we can actually target that. I'm actually holding well. Spy's trying to defend this 681.45. It's worth the risk for me. It's just a big RR if this plays out. I'm looking for this. For me, I'm playing a pullback long off a weekly level. So this slow one. Like I said, I like that it's off a weekly level and we were basing. So it's early in the week as well. So I'm not too. I'm just gonna let the probabilities play out here, to be honest. The one thing that I like is that the market's actually pulling back a little bit, and this is holding. So whenever you feel a little antsy, as I always teach, as long as we are above the key level we're risking off of, everything else is noise. Now I'm not going to be greedy. I want to see if we can get a push into this 426.32. I want to see if we can do that. I'm not going to look to be greedy here. So we're getting a pop on this market. Let's see if Tesla can give us a pop into here. Like I said, the main reason I took this is just like I'm seeing us base off of our weekly level. So for me, it's just really worth the shot here. Contracts are holding. I'm only down 1%. So looks solid. Looks solid. Just gotta wait, hold our water, and see. I want to see if we can do something like that, or at least get a push into that. But no matter what happens, this is such a great trade because just from the risk to reward perspective, we're playing a pullback long at the bottom of the range off a weekly level. That's just how I'm looking at this. So SPY's reclaiming 681.45, which is good. We'll get like a little momentum break on that. I hope. We'll see. I'm waiting to see if we can get a push here. Contracts are holding their value pretty well. SPY's reclaiming the 681.45, which is solid. Okay. It's gonna be patient here. I wouldn't want this to turn into a scalp, right? I would hope we can kind of get over that, and then this can be our new stop loss. But if we do get a push into here, I kind of just got to read that. You can kind of see the wicks here, and then wicks do the damage, body tells the story. So we'll wait and see. And the thing that I'm noticing is Q's is a little heavy, but Tesla's definitely holding up here. Right, Tesla's definitely holding up. Tesla's just doing his own thing because we're getting like big pops right now, but I'm not seeing that ripple effect here on Tesla. Yeah. So it's moving. I'm in the green. It sucks that we kind of didn't get that little bit of momentum. So just gotta let the probabilities play out. I would love to see this kind of break through 426.33, but kind of just relying on Tesla because market's just pretty much sitting sideways. You can kind of see the reflection here, but the way I'm looking at this is like this, and then just seeing like this hold R423. Welcome to trading, guys. This is boring. But I hope this makes sense. Like the way I'm looking at this, right? Off this weekly pullback long, I do like that Q's keeps trying to defend this lower day. So you see we kind of get this pop, even though we're sitting a little sideways. Like I said, it's a Tuesday. So these I'm not really worried about theta. Like right now, I'm down. I'm not even down. I'm up 1%. So it's kind of just like letting this play out. We're seeing a big pop here on the overall market. A big pop here. So okay, nice. Pretty solid. I'd rather just, I don't know, I low-key might take the loss because if let's see if we can get over this. See if we can get over this. Right now the contract's up 5%. So if you want to get out here, sure, for a base hit on a Monday, I want to see us like get above this. But see, right now, Q's is like pushing into that 61320 again. So contracts are up like 5% there. So these are one of those situations for me where I say I'd rather just take the L, to be honest. I don't really care for the quick base hit. I would love to see 426, 32 turn into, we'll see. But Hughes has to get over the 613. SPY's already near the high day. Hughes is flirting with the 613 again. Keep in mind that is a weekly level. So Hughes is like rejecting the 613 on the dot. He's trying to fight. You guys know me though. Like I trade my chart and my P&L. Like contracts are up. And they were up 5% on that. But I don't really care for this like quick base hit, you know? The only way to catch a big win in trade is by being in the trade. So the overall market's popping, SPY's breaking through the high day. I want to see, okay, cool. Can we get some momentum here on Tesla? Can we? Okay. The way I see it, we just held through the hard part. We got to get Tesla Q's. I'm sorry, Q's has to get over the 61320. Has to. It's kind of just what I'm waiting to see. But man, it's rejecting that very well. It's like that is such a strong level for this name. See how we keep rejecting here and then coming back? Like I said, guys, this is definitely a green trade for a small base hit, but I'm holding this. I'd rather just take my L if I do take one. I'm just trying to explain to you guys like what I'm looking at. So we had a very strong like push here on the overall market, and then Q's is still flirting with the 61320, but I'm spotting relative strength on Tesla. So it's like if Tesla can give us a break out of this 426.30, then maybe we can get a little bit of momentum push here. I'll look to sell into a momentum push. No doubt about it. But the thing is, Q's is flirting with 613. So I feel like if Q's can rip through that, okay, there we go. Okay, nice. Contracts are up 6%. I'm looking at Q's here because if Q's can break through this, there we go. There we go. Come on. Nice. There we go. There we go. Very nice. Very, very nice. we fall under here, I'm out, guys. My new stop loss is 426.32. Okay, I'm out there. I got out there. Small base hit. I sold for 8%, no, 7% there. Yeah. Did you guys catch that with me? I know that was like a grind. It's a tough hole. Like I can't be stubborn and force this. Can't be stubborn and force that. Just one of those days where like the momentum, like see what I mean here? Would love to hold this for sure, but nice. Nice, Jason. And I understand, right? It's a base hit, right? Looking for the bigger RR, but when I'm looking at Q's, just keeps rejecting the 613, right? I can't force this. We did really good just holding through all this. What's very unfortunate is this is what Spy's doing, right? Spy's doing this. Like that's just been the story. Relative strength on Spy, pulls back, right? We're bullish bias. Remember, we're bullish bias. So this is just Spy holding its key level, 681.45. But the thing that's making Q's hard is this, man. Like on the 2 minute, this thing is just, wasted the damage, body tells the story. We're having a tough time getting over that. We had a nice little bull flag set up on the intraday momentum pop. That's pretty much what we saw there on Tesla. Apple was gone. So today's like one of those days where we really just did not. Yeah, great. I know. Crazy. Let me see. AMD. I know. AMD looks good. The thing is, AMD could set up. It's very extended though. But this is something I definitely wouldn't have taken on AMD. Right now that we got the displacement, this is something I would take pretty much risking right under that. Now that's a setup. Right? And we knew that from the jump. AMD pretty much looked the best. AMD even had relative strength compared to the overall market coming into market open. Like look at AMD, right? This has kind of been the story on this name for like the last 3 days. So when you look at the price action on everything else, yeah, it was a good trade here, right? We took a long off of 223, didn't have momentum on our side. Qs look like crap, but this is like it's just doing its own thing. This is exactly what you want. But this trade reminds me, I'm sure you guys remember last Thursday, we ended up taking this, or I did, but it happened so quick. But we were also just very overextended on this name. This is a big move on AMD. You see it? Yeah, look at AMD. This thing's like already over the previous day high as well. Look at that. Every 15-minute candle. Now this is something pretty much we'll look for. It's crazy. Fortunately, we kind of got that retest like during pre-market. I'll show you guys here on the daily, actually. Uh, Remember, we ended up gapping above here. We ended up gapping above last week. Kind of needed this retest. You can see just straight upside. Just straight upside. Actually, I'm curious on what NVIDIA did. Yeah, nothing on NVIDIA. Just dead smack middle of the range. Nothing on NVIDIA. Yeah, this was a grind. It definitely was a grind, but like great lesson here. Who cares that it does this right now? Of course, right on a Thursday, Friday, a little bit different because we have theta. But as long as we're above this, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And then, okay, why did I sell where I sold? Because Q's was rejecting 613, and I saw this. We kept rejecting it on the 5 minute. I'll take the base hit. Right, was looking for the bigger RR. Take the base hit. Just not a strong momentum day. Oh, nice. Good job, Victor. Yeah, 10% on Tesla is a really good trade. But like let today, I think today's like really the main lesson here is, as I always tell you, right? Just don't look at your P&L because it makes it a little bit harder to sit through the noise. But as long as we're sitting above 423.10, as long as we're sitting above this, there's no reason for us to sell. There's no reason for us to sell, right? Is it uncomfortable? Sure, right? But that's trading. Trading's uncomfortable. But I'm noticing on the weekly, like, man, okay, we're starting to base here. We're starting to base here. This is a strong hold, right? This is the bottom. Now, of course, right, it's starting to give us a little rip, but right, everything's easy to say in hindsight. But this is like perfect for me. And then prior to entry, I said, okay, guys, we're basing. I just want to see strong momentum kick in. Right, I want to see that. And we ended up getting, I think it was on this candle, a nice pop. I said, okay, cool, I'll go long here. We ended up sitting. So it was a good trade. Good trade. But when you look at Tesla today, right, kind of just doing this. But now trade's starting to work out. So key lesson here, right? Trust your key level. Trust what you're doing. Ignore the noise. As long as we're above the key level we're risking off of, our thesis is correct. So it was a really good trade. Nice base hit for Tuesday. Nothing on the video. But this is what really got us this morning was this. Right now we're starting to finally get above that. Right. And then see Tesla starting to get above that hump. So the confluence here with the market, these two names were in sync. There wasn't really too much relative strength on Tesla compared to the overall market. Um, but now you would want to see cues. All right, we finally just got above this, right? Resistance turned into support, and now we just want to hold this. Now we just want to hold that on cues. So I was noticing, okay, cool. And one of the main reasons why I held my Tesla trade is because I'm noticing, okay, we're respecting this lower day. I'm seeing a nice little bull flag set up here into the lower day. So if we can get a lower day bounce and buyers can step up here, we can possibly push this thing higher. And we actually did ended up getting a very big pop on SPY and on Qs. We just didn't see that on Tesla. So, but solid day, solid day. Today was like, right, patience pays. So trust your patience. It's uncomfortable. Who cares, right? So a day like that this is a day where Monday through Wednesday, it depends on the name on Wednesday. I'm cool sitting in this, right? Because our contracts held very well. They held very, very well. Because we're not worried about theta, right? So we're going to manage our trades a little differently depending on the day of the week. It's Tuesday, it's early. Theta is not a factor. I don't really care about theta. So that's why we're able to sit through that. And I'm sure you guys noticed for our contracts to be, one strike out of the money, they held very well in value and their value. So solid day, but you can see like not the best day on Tesla price action wise, but when you look at it from the higher time frame, right? This is right off the pre-market plan. I'm saying, hey, this is a big RR if this sets up. Right? We're getting at the bottom of the range before we get to the top. I like it. Just the context wasn't there today. So super solid, right? Plan your trade, trade your plan. Sucks that Q's is like stuck in this channel a little bit, but nothing you can do about that. Our job is to take our setups every single time they occur. What happens out of our control. So this one's pretty unfortunate because this is Q's on the intraday, but man, look at SPY. Like I thought Tesla was going to give us that rip when SPY just look at this. SPY just like ripped out of nowhere. Right? Did very well, basing, defending to 681. And then we just got a rocket through the high day. And I thought, okay, cool, Tesla's going to do the same. No, no, no. But I think that is going to do it here, guys. It's a pretty solid day today. Not the best price action over all around. The best looking name today, obviously based on price action, was definitely AMD. AMD was the best one. Today was just a great shot, right? We planned our trade, traded our plan, respected our key level, read the price action, was very patient. We took our long. Instead of waiting for the quick base hit, we just decided to, okay, cool, let's find an intraday level on the 5 minute. We gravitated towards that. I sold because we didn't hold that as support. That's a great trade all around. And you can see, right, we're just starting to base a little bit more now on Tesla. So overall, solid day, guys. Definitely gonna call it here. Glad you guys caught that for 10%. Good job, Victor. Solid base hit, Jason. I love that you said a great experience. You're right though. Like I said this before, the only way to I told you, Jason, the only way to kind of get used to, not being nervous on an entry and all your emotions going away is taking more trades, right? The more you take trades, the more shots you take, the more comfortable you get. So today was a great experience, right? It was uncomfortable, but good. It should be. So we'll see you guys. I'll do a trade recap today, later on today, pre-market game plan. But good job today, right? Great way to start the week with a base hit. Hopefully tomorrow we can get some cleaner price action. We do have some news tomorrow, but I'll go over that in the moment then. But other than that, solid day, and I will catch you guys on the next one.